Welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about Cosmic Fury Episode 7, the breakdown review. So let's jump straight into it. We start with the ship getting to Earth, and it's taken 14 hours to do so. As Zato enters the room, he's been asleep for that long, and dear God, if it had taken 14 hours to travel, that must have been some fast ship. I've got to give it to the Rafconian ship. Fair dues on that one. As Zato kind of wakes up, he makes himself a drink, and he starts talking to the Rangers, and they talk about a plan that they have come up with, which again, if you've got 14 hours to spend, you might as well think about it to kind of perfect this actual plan. Now, they know that if they take down one of the squidrills, they know that the anti-Zord force field will drop, so they're able to use their Zords properly. Now, this is a thing while thinking about it, is why would you want to use the Zords when there are no giant monsters around? What is it that the Zords have? Like, it's something that I don't understand, because most of the monsters are really small. What does it got? Like, not unless it's taking down other squidrills, but again, it's just really weird, like, thinking about it right now, and it might be a video that I might make in the future, so check out about that. If not, hey, there we go. The main plan is just literally take down one, and then they can use their Megazords. And with that, we get Operation Sneezing. Wizzo enters the base, and he's wondering why there are no Sentinels. There's only Squillia as well as Heckle. And I kind of would be like, at least maybe keep one around, even if he's facing the wall or something. But, you know, or even outside the room, so at least you have guards, because hell, you don't know what's going to happen. I would have at least kept one guard outside, because you're all at war. As Wizzo is kind of questioning what's going on, Heckle actually gives Squillia a giant voucher to have a spa day at any point, hoping that she'll take it and she'll teleport off and she will do stuff. I wonder if the voucher was fake. The coupon at least was fake, because that would have been something at least. To me, I'd be like, haha, you got your treatment, but now you have to pay for it, ha 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 ha. Now, this is something that I probably would have done. As Squillia is like going like, oh my God, thank you. You could have got up, staggered about, done a little twirl, said like, I'm the best like boyfriend ever, and then let you go, oops, and then take down the anti-Zord network. But instead, he literally just stands up. He grabs his boomerang from out of nowhere, and Squillia's like, oh my God, is that for me? And he's like, no. And he morphs. And I absolutely love the fact that he morphs into the Dark Ranger. And everyone's wondering like, oh my God. And he gives kind of a backstory. He's like, once I was evil, very evil. And then I had a redemption arc. And I love the fact that he puts this in there. And he doesn't go into too much detail. And he's like, oh my God, it happened so quickly. And Wizzo then goes, hey, is that because you became a ranger? And he's like, no. That came much later on, but I had this redemption arc. And I'm like, I love it. I love Heckle in this. So he then starts fighting everyone, because Wizzo calls in the Sentinels, which again, why would you complain that there's no one in there where you could have had some teleport in with you? It's weird. Like, it's always weird with these bad guys. I think when this fight breaks out, I love the line of, I put the spy in Spinosaurus, which I generally thought was a fantastic line. And I just wish we saw Heckle fight so much more. But we'll get onto that in a little bit. The Rangers start coming to Earth, and the force field is still up. And this is one thing that really annoys me, is that you could have waited behind the moon, like, so no one could have detected you. And then Heckle could have like brought down the shields, and then you could jump in and start going. It just feels really weird that, you know, you would rush into this, and I don't like it. It's not really thinking. It's more like, we need to get this done now. You know, don't care, like, we're gonna do it. You know, it has to be done now. But because Heckle hasn't dropped the force field, the Zords literally just don't do anything, and they fall straight to Earth, and they aren't able to move because of the anti-Zord field. Again, I don't know why everything is about the Zords and what's gonna happen. It just doesn't make sense while thinking about it. Zato and Iron are completely and utterly separated from the other Rangers, so they've fallen into another part of the city. They watch as the other Rangers get kidnapped and kind of like taken prisoner, and then kind of teleported off. And Zato uses his ability, which I thought was turning Fern into an Orange Ranger, but actually kind of picks up the Zords and sends them back into the grid so they can start repairing, even though they've not had much damage. Like, damn, they must need a lot of time for repairing. Because of this, he kind of starts fainting, and Ion is very worried. Tarek and a few of the Rafkonian soldiers turn up to kind of help, but they teleport out in the meantime because they don't want to get captured like the other Rangers. Back at the Rebels base, everyone is worried about Zato, and we find out that Zato actually uses magic, and if he uses too much magic, he gets weak, and if he uses all his magic, then he will return to the grid. And this is a huge moment for Ion, Zato, and Solron because they're the ones that are connected to him the most. So he opens up, but then says, please don't tell anyone about this because this isn't the time. I will tell people. But Ion and Solron are like, no, we need to tell the others. And while I get this entire thing, I understand it because I feel like if Zato told everyone right now, the main focus would be shifted to him and they wouldn't be having him in battle or anything like that because it'd be, oh no, you're too weak, stay behind, we don't want you using magic, which would then kind of make him go, well, there's no reason for me to be here, I might as well help. I can see the plan, but also I know they don't want to lose their friends, which is the thing. I understand this one. Pop then decides to kind of crash into the Rebels base. I don't know why. Like, it feels like he's just driven straight through the door and it's caused damage. So it's kind of weird, kind of very weird to see that. But again, hell, that's the main thing right there. Pop has been to Grid Battle Force and he's picked up the teleporters that we've seen, and they've been used quite a few times. They're used to transport, obviously, Megazords and stuff and large objects. And they know that if they're able to kind of place them around the city, that they could easily teleport one of the Squidrels and have it smash into the base, which is a fantastic thing. But they need a distraction because they know that as soon as that they place them, obviously the Sentinels would come up and then kind of like take them away and so on and so on. So I generally like this plan. Zato says, I've got a plan, I'm going to be able to do this, etc, etc. But then obviously Ion and Solon take him aside and say, look, you can't use your magic, you can't do this, like what would happen? And Zato's like, look, I'm going to do it. Like, regardless, I need to do this, I need to help, and that's what I'm here for. So I think this is one of the coolest things, which I would have loved to have seen a little bit more. But the distraction plan is to make Solron giant and turn into a giant version of herself and kind of terrorize the city. So this actually happens. When Ion turns around to Zato and says, hey, are you okay? He's like, yeah, but it would be nice if you hurried up. So therefore, Ion then teleports all around the city into the correct places to put these devices down. And Zato then faints because he's used up too much magic, making her giant. I just love the fact that Solron is just moving around and just kind of like attacking. It's really fun. I just wish this was a lot more, like this happened a bit more, because it's actually fun to see. The devices get activated and the Squidrill hits the building and everybody's free. And this is one thing that does kind of annoy me, is the fact that they say that all the Rangers are there, or majority of the Rangers are there, and I feel like you'd see them coming out, as in either wearing their uniforms so you can't see their faces or something, but at least maybe morphed. But no, like everyone gets out, and it just feels like there are more people in there that could overpower Sentinels more than anything, rather than just like one or two. Like, I just feel like you could easily get out and you could start having a problem. I just feel like you could easily get out and then get past all these guards. I just feel like the scene could have had more of them in there, because it's a prison. It just feels like there's two. It's two around. It's just so weird. But because of this, everybody like gets out. Jane and J-Borg make a cameo saying like, oh, can you say this for the camera? And then we're going to go edit it. And they're talking to Billy about it. And he's like, just get out of here. Like, everyone, like, you're free type thing. And they're like, thanks, mister. And then they just cheese off to the editing suite. I think I would have liked to have seen maybe a director's cut of this where they did kind of put all the footage together and you saw Jane and J-Borg actually talking about stuff. I think that would be kind of really cool. Now, this is one thing that gave me goosebumps, and it's the Cosmic Fury Rangers morphing, Billy and Heckle. And oh my god, this is one of the coolest scenes in Cosmic Fury. I just really liked it, and it's nice seeing that they actually start running, attacking, and like beating bad guys, because obviously Squilly has turned up with more Sentinels. We've got the other monster that I can't say his name, and they all start fighting. I genuinely love this because it felt like a team up. It felt like we've gone back to the old days of when like Rangers would just team up with each other to fight the big bad. Even Tarek joins in on this, which again is absolutely fantastic, because you kind of think that maybe he wouldn't fight because he doesn't have like his Void Knight powers. I really wish that he had like a temporary morph, and when I've been able to morph and he turned into Bronze Knight. Do you know, if he turned into the bronze version or the brown version of Void Knight, I think that would have broken everyone just thinking about it. Oh my god, it's so freaking cool. I would have absolutely loved to have seen that. The Cosmic Fury Rangers summon their Zords and start kind of taking down the Squidrills and stuff, which again, I still find it really weird that if one fell down, everyone can use their Zords again. It's just such a weird thing. You'd think that you need to take down at least 3 or 4 of them before it disrupts the entire force field. But no, they go off. They have some trouble fighting against one of the copy guards, because maybe copy guards are getting a little bit stronger. And we get Tarek versus Unwiso. I think that's how they say it. It's Unwiso. But what I really like is this battle scene where Unwiso is like, you're so weak, you can't even defeat me. And they do like an anime stance. Unwiso just blows up because Tarek has done that anime, and he didn't even flinch. Like, if he'd done the whole thing of like putting his sword into the side, like at the end into a sheath or something, I feel like it would have been absolutely fantastic. Now, I will say this. I feel like a lot of these bad guys, a lot of these minions aren't strong enough compared to what we've seen in the past. Like, I know obviously it's only 10 episodes, but like having one monster maybe come back, that, you know, if you look at the Sporex beasts and stuff, you had monsters that would ultimately come back after a while. And I'm just like, huh? What? Why? Like, why is this a thing? But yeah, like, I feel like all the monsters in this are really weak compared to what we've had in the past. The Squidrills turn into the battle mode, and they're pretty much taken down by the Rangers quite quickly, and it does seem really fast. Like, it's oh, you're now battle mode, here is the ultimate attack, you're gone, and that's it. So it kind of makes me think, why would you want to put Megazords in there? Because I feel like the clips that they show is very, very quick, and I feel like you didn't need to add them in maybe this episode. You could have just had more fighting in the prison and everybody would have loved it. Billy takes down Squillia really quickly as well, but I love the fact of his fighting, and the fact is that he does like ultimate like spins and stuff. I generally thought that it was a fantastic way to see Billy actually fight, and I think I would love to see Billy fight a lot more in Cosmic Fury. But yeah, generally for what it is, he does really well, and I'm just really, really happy to see that we're getting more MMPR blue action compared to, say, like other MMPR Rangers in there. As soon as Billy defeats Squillia, they actually put sleepy cuffs on her so that they know that they're going to try and get information from her much later on. Will it happen or not? Find out in the next review. But because of this, like, the Rangers then start getting communications, like text messages, voice calls from their parents, their family, probably their friends. And then we get kind of a call from the Resistance that actually has like Billy, Heckle, and Tarek as well. So as we close this episode off, the Rangers get tons and tons of calls and missed messages and all that from their parents, and then we get a communication from the Rebel Alliance. The Rebels, they are turning around and saying, hey, you know, we've done this, we've captured Squillia, blah, 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 blah. We're going to try and get information, and it's literally Billy, Tarek, as well as Heckle, and therefore the episode ends right there. For this episode, I feel like it's a really good one. I feel like when you see Heckle and you see everyone, it just feels like a fantastic thing right now. I generally really liked it. I feel like this episode kind of progressed. I like the fact that we now have Heckle, and he has had his character arc completely finished. You know, everyone wanted him to become the Dark Ranger after seeing him from the comics. Now that we have him as the Dark Ranger, slightly obviously changed, I generally really liked it because it felt like this was his redemption. It was like, you know, I was bad, I became a keeper, and now I'm a ranger. I loved the fight scenes. I do think that you could have had more Rangers in costume because it felt like there was no Rangers there. Like, you know, if you're going to say the Rangers have been captured, say they've been captured in their own city, because it would make more sense rather than like, oh, are they in this prison? Why aren't they busting out? What do they have their powers and stuff like that? But yeah, I generally think the episode was fine. I love the morphing sequence. I love seeing Heckle morph. I love seeing them all morph in one go because it made me think to the days of when we had crossovers. I generally really like that sort of stuff. So yeah, I like it. I also think that the anti-Zord field wasn't a thing either. Like, it doesn't seem that big because not unless every single monster grew big that you could have problems with it. So I feel like that plot was kind of not needed. But yeah, I am really liking this series so far. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. And also, while you're down there, why not help support the channel? Hit like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Why not check out Patreon as well as the YouTube channel memberships to help support the channel? Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimona Cat, Kira Stanada, Micah Baldwin. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとう。チャンネル登録、高評価お願い。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができるよ。